also. All right, so let's get started here. I think that starting a financial services firm is one of the best things that you can do if you're ready for it. But there can also be a lot of consternation. There's a lot of different things out there. There's a lot of different ways, people telling you to do stuff, and there's all kinds of stuff. So the reason for this particular series, the RIA Launch Masterclass, is I have helped launch, including my own, several firms, and I have created a 10-step guide that walks you through this. That is free. You just get on the email list and you get access to it. We're going to be going through those first 3 steps tonight in the masterclass. And like I said, the 2 mistakes that will keep you from the registration process successfully, right? These 2 mistakes I've seen most people like add 60, 90 days to the registration process instead of being, lickety split doing like that. So we want to make sure that you don't do those things. We want to make sure that you are good to go. So if that's good with you, if you're ready to learn that, thumbs up in the chat. I would love for you to share this live if you've got colleagues that that need to be here. And make sure you like and comment and things like that. Keep the energy up. I would love, the way that the algorithm works on YouTube, as you probably know, is the more shares, engagement, things like that, they push the live. So I appreciate that. We do this every month. So if you can't stay for the whole time, I get it. That it is what it is. So you can go ahead and leave, and we'll have this up on YouTube a little bit later. If you think you are ready for the launch process of the RIA, and you're like, I'm ready to go. I've been thinking about this for a long time, Dominique. I already know what I want to do. Well, what you can do is scan that code that is on the screen right now, and that will give you access to the RIA Launch Readiness Quiz to see if you actually are ready. Because I know there's some super students out there that you guys are always trying to get the extra credit, and you're always trying to be ahead of the class. Like, go ahead. I was one of those, so that's the reason why I'm making fun of y'all. But anyways, it's all good. Scan that QR code and you can have access to the RIA Launch Quiz, and it will tell you whether or not you're ready, and it'll give you some suggestions. So you get a personalized little recommendation from me. Okay. All right. This masterclass is for the people that want to launch. So I just want to make sure I got the right people in the room. So this would be the individuals that are you're kind of frustrated with the limitations that are imposed by your current firm or your current broker dealer. Anybody? Is that anybody? You desire a little bit more control over the client relationship. You know the people that you're called to, but they're trying to make you sell XYZ product to these people, or they want you to bring in these type of accounts or all that kind of stuff. Is that anybody? Or you're just kind of looking for a little bit more personal and professional growth, right? Like more mentorship, more people that look like you, that understand the type of people that you're called to. You're a little bit tired of that, I have to say it, stale, pale, and male as the industry goes. And you want to kind of branch off. Or the firm values and your values are just a little different. Nothing wrong with that. They value something differently. If any of those answers are yes, or if you've answered yes to any of those questions, then you are in the right place. Kanisha, see, yeah, she said, I feel that every day. I get it. I totally get it. I have been there. I have done that. And that's why I'm here to help you guys kind of break free from those particular instances. Okay. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing because otherwise I'll forget to do that. So the drawing in my little coin jar, these are the people that registered. Now people are like, Dominique, this is free. It's on YouTube. Like, why would I register? This is the reason why you register, because I put your name in this jar every month, and I have maybe 6 or 7 names of people that registered here. And so I'm just going to pull a random name. And if you are present, you're going to get, what am I going to give away today? I'm going to give away the Career Changer Blueprint. Dominique, what is the Career Changer Blueprint? So this is a guide that I put together, some trainings to help you navigate as a career changer into the financial services industry, specifically if you're in that 0 to 3 years of experience. So I got some really good trainings that are not on YouTube. Nobody else has seen them. I typically sell this for like 49 bucks. It's probably worth about $1,000 or so with all this stuff that I have in there. And I'm going to give that away to whoever I pull from this jar. All right. So let's go ahead and do that so we can get into the training. I'm going to randomly pull a name, and I need my glasses. Jamo Balda, Jamo, J-A-M-O Balda. Are you in the live stream, sir? I'm assuming that's a sir. Going once, hey, look, this happened last month. I was going once, going twice. You got to be present. You can't just register and think you're going to get stuff for free. Like, that's not how it works, okay? So you got to be present. Jamo, are you in the live stream? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Jamo's not in the live stream. See, this is what happens when you're not in the live stream. Let's see. Kelly Fluharty, maybe? Kelly, are you in the live stream? You're getting the Career Changer Blueprint? Kelly in the live stream? I got a couple of aliases in the live stream, so I don't really know, like this Blue Tiger. I don't know who that is. You got to claim it. You got to say something in the chat. You got to let me know. Kelly, going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Okay, Kelly's not going to claim it. All right. I gotta give something away, guys. I'm sorry. Like, we're gonna get to it, but I gotta give something away. Rachel Dumas, are you in the live stream? Rachel Dumas, claiming. Rachel Dumas, 1. This is crazy. I don't have many more names. Let's see. Let me grab another one. Going once, Rachel. Going twice, Rachel. I say pull a name from the live chat. I know, huh? That's what I should do. But I'm trying to just be fair with what I said I was going to do. Okay, let me do this last one and I'll pull a name from the chat. How about that? Okay. That's going to be harder to do. Like, I'm trying to think of how I can do that. Don Wilson, are you available? Match 3 Queen, what's your name? I'm going to do that this way, okay? Who's Match 3 Queen? I don't know. See, like, these aliases on YouTube, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I'm trying to. All right, so we got Kanisha. We got Valerie. So Kanisha's going in. We got Valerie going in. And the only thing about this is you're going to have to send me your email, okay? So you're going to have to send me your email so I'll know. We got Match 3 Queen. Okay. We got Blue Tiger. I'm just going with whoever has already commented. If you haven't commented and you're in the chat, you better say something. Oh, Blue Tiger, you're Rachel Dumas. Okay, so you win. Okay, very good. Okay, that's fair, guys. She was here. She's been here. She just didn't say anything. Okay, so Rachel Dumas, I got you here. You will get the Career Changer Blueprint. And now we can move. Okay. All right, let's get to it. That was fun, huh? Okay. Last month, if you were tracking with us, and let me, Don, you were second, man. You, like, Rachel was before you. I'm sorry. You got to say something, man. You got to say something. Rachel was here. All right. So, let me get the whiteboard out. I think that'll be helpful. Last month, we talked about plan, prepare, and proceed. Because there's a lot of steps before you actually start the RIA process, the registration process. And it's the notion around measuring twice or 3 times or 4 times and cutting once, right? That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you got your ducks in a row, your business plan, all these different things that are going to be relevant for your launch. Now, when I talk about the first 3 steps, and everybody should have access to the guide. As long as you get on the email list, you will have access to the guide, okay? So the 10-step guide was born out of this idea of making sure that every time I launched an RIA, I was doing the same thing, regardless of what state I was in, because different states have different regulations. However, there is a blueprint that's pretty generic that will allow you to get up and running. Okay, and we're gonna hit those first 3 steps because I think these are probably all of them are important, but these first three, if you don't do them the right way, what will end up happening is you will have to. Are there any fans of Martin Lawrence out here? I'm gonna not probably date myself, but in the '90s, I watched Martin, the show Martin, and there's an episode on there with George Jefferson, Sherman Hemsley, the George Jefferson character, and Martin's at the DMV. And he's trying to use his celebrity, and he's doing all these things. He thinks he's going to be in and out of the DMV. Has anybody seen this episode? Like, I got any Martin fans out there? Okay, I'm just talking. I'll keep on explaining it though. So, anyways, Martin goes to the DMV, and he's trying to circumvent the process and skip around. And when he skips around, he messes up everything, and he has to go back to scratch. And that's kind of like the whole thing of he's spending the whole day at the DMV when he could only spend just a couple minutes, but he didn't do it the right way. So that's what these 3 steps are like. I don't want you to have to go back to scratch because you do things out of order. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some order. Okay. All right. My Apple Pencil is not working. And why is that? Okay, there we go. Yes, it is. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to do, this is step 1. Let's try to do this again. Let's start right here. Okay, step 1. Step 1 is match 3 queen. I've seen that episode. Very good. There must be a delay on some of that. I'll have to account for the delay. So step 1 in the RA launch process is going to be to form your business entity. So in most cases, I will go ahead and tell you that the business entity that you're going to want to form is going to be a limited liability company. Whether you do a single member or you do a multiple members, doesn't really matter. Multiple members would be just like if you are like you got a husband and wife, and maybe you, in the event that something happens to you, you don't want all the consternation that would happen with your spouse, your surviving spouse trying to sell the firm. So at some point, some people put like, this is what I did when I first started. I was 99% member and my wife was 1%. That way she had some ownership in there if there was something to happen to me so she could sell the firm. Okay. So sometimes people do multi-member LLCs for that. That's a choice that is entirely up to you. You might want to talk to an attorney about that or whatnot, but you got to form your business entity. And part of that is getting your EIN. Okay. Is this going off the screen? I can't tell. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. You got to get your EIN. And now in 2024, you're going to also have to do, because of the Corporate Transparency Act, you're going to have to file that paperwork also, which basically just means that, as a, if your LLC is going to be new, within 30 days of you forming your LLC, you have to fulfill the FinCEN requirement of the Corporate Transparency Act. I promise I can talk tonight. Okay, so that's the first steps. If you don't do these things, you're liable to fines. There's all kinds of stuff that you would end up having to do. This, and I'm gonna tell you some other good things about doing this first. It's going to force you to really think about what your mission is and your vision. Think about mission as why you're in business. Think about vision as what you want to see yourself doing in business. Okay? Mission is why you're in business, who you help, why you help them. Vision is what is your help to these particular people going to do for them, right? So if you're thinking about me, like I'm a builder. I like to build people. My DGH Capital Management wealth management firm is I like giving real advice. Like my mission is to make sure that I am able to change the landscape of all financial advice by helping people change their family trees, right? So in that, I see people changing their family trees, right? By me carrying out the mission, I see them changing their family trees with what I call real financial advice. relatable, empathetic, attentive, listening. Okay, so that's me. Now you're gonna have something different. Kanisha, you might have something different. Match 3 Queen, you might have something different. Don, you might have something different. That's totally fine. But the point is it's gonna force you in this first step to start thinking about your mission and start thinking about your vision. Okay, I gotta run because, or I gotta move it along because we got only 2 minutes here. I took too long for the drawing. Step 2 is going to be to fund your bank accounts. Okay, so we're funding bank accounts and we're getting our financial statements together because in most instances, you will be either required to have either a bond or you will be required to have some type of funding or a notarized balance sheet. So that typically looks like, you can get some software that's pretty cheap, QuickBooks or FreshBooks or Wave Apps or any of those softwares that would allow you to create a notarized balance sheet. Now, some in Texas doesn't require you to have any funding in the bank account. Like you just need to have the statements, even if they have zero balances. All states aren't like that. So you need to fund your bank accounts. Now, funding your bank accounts force you to do, they force you to fund your mission and your vision, right? Because right now you may be in the dream state where this is all just kind of like theoretical and you would love to do it and you're wondering and all this other kind of stuff. But once you start to open bank accounts and deposit money in there and fund, out of your own personal equity into your business's equity, then it starts to get real, right? Like you're not just talking about it anymore. You're actually doing the thing. And that's good. Okay. And then the step number three is going to be to find out your state requirements. Now, this can be a booger bear, but if you download the guide inside my portal that I've created for you, when you download the guide, you get all my freebies, by the way. You get on the email list, you get all my freebies, and inside that portal is the RA launch checklist. And I believe it's $29 is the state requirements. So for every state, I have a hyperlink to what they need from you. The fees for your firm, the fees for you as an advisor, what documents they're going to need, all the different stuff. It's all there in one spreadsheet, all 50 states. Now, finding out your state requirements is going to force you to publicize your mission and your vision, right? You went from thinking about it to funding it to now publicizing. Now the world gets to know. And that's a good thing because it gets out of your head. Like sometimes I think the biggest things that I have seen with RIA launch, and we're going to get into the mistakes too. The number one mistake is if you don't treat your registration like the initial exam it is, then you're going to not do the measuring twice and cutting once that I talked about at the beginning of this, right? Like you need to be looking at this as they are fine-tooth combing everything about your firm from A to Z. They are making sure that once you establish your firm in their state, that you're not going to be one of those firms that people are complaining about and filing consumer complaints and all this other kind of stuff and going on your FINRA record and all that. They're going to be trying to make sure. So the state regulators are going to be treating you like this is an exam. It's going to be very serious. They're going to have like checklists and all these different things. This is the reason why I always recommend working with a consultant when it comes to this. Either a compliance consultant or somebody like myself that can walk you through and can liaise with the state regulators, because they're going to be asking you questions that if you don't know the answer to those questions, you can ask them and you might get a nice one, or you might get the meaning Bertha regulator. I've talked to those people and they're just like, what? You don't know the answer to that question? Then why are you trying to form this firm? Like that kind of stuff. And that can really get you all flustered. If you were trying to form a firm and you got somebody that was kind of, negative Nancy on the line, wouldn't that kind of fluster you? So that's why I'm trying to help you. You need to treat this like this is an exam. They are making sure that your firm is compliant. They are making sure that you have your ADV right, your advisor agreement right, your business plan right, your business continuity plan right, your compliance manual right. They're going through everything with a fine tooth. Your social media content policy, all this stuff. Okay. And then the second biggest mistake that I see, excuse me, is not funding your FINRA account. What's your FINRA account? The financial industry, excuse me, financial industry regulatory authority will have you create what is called a flex account. And in this account, go all your fees for your firm and for you individually. And unless that account is funded, before you start this process of handing in your paperwork and all that kind of stuff, they won't even look at it. And so I've seen a lot of advisors go through all these steps, get their ADV ready, get their templates ready, send the email off, and they're just waiting. And the registration, the regulators are like, have you funded your FINRA account? And I'll be honest, that portal is like really a nightmare. It's hard to navigate. You have to designate yourself or someone as your super administrator. And you have a lot of steps to go through to get the account opened and then funded. And then once, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. And then once they see your funds in there and are able to grab the funds out for their state, for the state registration fees, then they'll start going through the process. But I've seen delays of 2 and 3 months, and sometimes maybe more, depending on the state, where that stuff isn't done correctly, and therefore it holds you up. So that's it. You have to make sure you form your business entity, get your EIN. Probably going to have an LLC unless you want to do a C corp or something like that. You're going to have to fund your bank account, and then you're going to have to find out your state regulations, and then make sure you do not forget to fund your FINRA account, and do treat this like the initial exam it is. Okay, Will is already getting into questions, and I do have some questions that I want to get into. Before I get there, this framework is one of several frameworks that I teach for people trying to launch their firm successfully and do all the things. Okay, so give me a second here. So what we want to, I got 15,000 screens over here. Not 15,000, but quite a lot. So this is one of the few frameworks that I teach, and it's all about making the leap as an RIA. But what if you want to make the leap into the industry? What if you want to make the leap to see if you need to take the CFP exam? What if you need to make the leap to grow your firm? What if you need to make the leap to do any of those things? I am creating a challenge that is starting next month, where we will take 5 days. You get 5 days with me, and we will walk through these frameworks, all of them, to help you take the 10x leap that you want to take in your financial services career. So we'll talk about your mindset. We'll talk about perspectives. I'm going to be teaching you my Champ Skills framework. I'm going to be teaching you how to make 6 figures in your first year as a financial services professional. I'm going to be teaching you the whole thing, the why, who, how framework, all of them, all of the frameworks in the Make the Leap Challenge that starts June 10th. So I will have a link. If you registered for this, I will have a link, and there will also be a link in the YouTube description that you can sign up. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. 5 days of pure saturation. Your minds will be blown. They will be, your brain will be thumping even after the first day. I'm going to give you all my recommended book list. You have access to everything. It's going to be epic, epic, epic. So I want you to avail yourself of that. Let's get to the questions so we can kind of wind it up here. I had 3 questions, Will, before I get to yours that were submitted to me. And I'll kind of hit all of these at once. So what are the benefits of owning your own RIA was the first question. Well, I think the benefits of owning your RIA are very personal, and they're very individual, to be honest. The way I think about it is financial services, financial servants like myself, financial professionals like yourselves, we sit in a sacred seat, and it is a privilege to be able to give advice to an individual about their particular situation, to act as a guide to them on their destination. And that's one benefit, to see them taking the advice, implementing the advice, it doing the things that they wanted it to do for them, and it changing their family trees. And of course, there's the monetary benefits, but of course, you have to be successful. You have to be serving clients. But just from a overarching kind of generalized view, that's one benefit. The amount of finances needed to start an RIA depend on your state. So you're going to have state registration fees that are at the firm level and the individual level, and they vary. It's like $275 in Texas, depending on your state. Get the state requirements guide. It'll have all that stuff in there. You're going to have to spend some money on tech, right? So your CRM, your website, your financial planning software, if that's the road you choose to go down as being a financial advisor. You might have some investment management software that you need. So it's going to be things like that. I would say be prepared to spend, 10 grand in the first year, maybe more now. And it really all depends on your tech stack solution. These are the things that we go over in the RIA Launch Academy, is helping you pick out that kind of stuff, right? So if you have or want more details on that, you can just send me an email or a DM. I think the difficulties you may face are various. So maybe let's answer Will's question, and then maybe we can come back to that. Rachel, I know you submitted those questions. When you register with an IARD, let's see. When you register with the IARD and fund your FINRA account, does that notify any other organization you're currently affiliated with? This is a great question because you do not want to rock the boat at your current broker-dealer before you are ready. So most instances, the answer to this is going to be yes. And the reason why that answer is yes is because in order to do this, you have to file your U4. And the U4 means you have to file the U5 to terminate your registration with whatever firm you're with. That's typically how that happens. So when you register, all your U4 and all that kind of stuff is going to be all in there, your social, all that kind of stuff, if you needed fingerprints. So you're kind of putting on notice that you are there. So I don't typically do this step here until someone has already disconnected with their firm. Because it's hard to ride the fence there. Because, the other thing you want to consider, Will, here is your employment agreements. So typically whenever I take on a client for an RIA launch, the first thing we pull is their employment agreement for from their current employer. And we go through that to make sure, non-compete, non-solicit, all that kind of stuff. Are we good on that before we start the process? Because once we start the process, it's kind of it's hard to unscramble the egg, if you will. And we start, opening up LLCs and all this other kind of stuff, and EINs and bank accounts, and it gets wonky. So I would say you're gonna want to be separated. It's too big a risk, especially if there's gonna be some contention, or lawsuits or any of that kind of stuff, if they find out that you're doing it and you weren't supposed to be doing it. So hopefully that helps. Let me circle back to, if you have any other questions, throw it in the chat. We're going to wind up in just a little bit here. And thank you for joining. Don't forget to like. And has this been helpful? Thumbs up? Yes? You guys tracking with me? Difficulties you may face. So the first difficulty I think people are going to face is not having a great marketing plan or personal branding strategy. Again, this is something that we talk about before we, whenever people hire me to do this, because you're running a business. The sexy part of this, which is, having clients and having client meetings and, giving advice, Well, we got to get you ramped up, because if nobody's knocking on your door, there's no calendar appointments, then you're just going to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs, and then you're going to go out of business. And you're going to fall into all the statistical categories of first-year businesses in the United States. So we got to make sure, and we get back to some of the frameworks that that I've talked about before. There are 2 questions that you need to answer to solve the prospecting problem. The first question is, what is this special group of people I'm going to be targeting? And what is the specific problem that they have, or problems? If you answer those 2 questions well, it's going to help you obsess over knowledge of the problem versus just having knowledge of the solution. Because people go get CFP, CHFC, all these different designations, and that's great. They teach you a lot about knowledge of the solution. Go get a 401k, or open up a Roth, or save in a 529, or save at least 15% a year. Those are great, but people don't do those things, and people know to do those things. You need to know why they're not contributing all the way to their, maxing out their 401k. You need to know why they haven't started their 529. You need to know why they don't want to do a backdoor Roth. When you start to understand the reasons and the rationale behind why people are not doing the things that they know to do, then you become a good financial advisor, a good financial professional. That's how that works. People have different motivations and different intentions that get in their way, and you need to help them unblock. That's what you're there. You're as a guide. How does someone take their limited time and limited money and spread that across unlimited choice? They get like deer in the headlights. It's like, paralysis by analysis. That's what happens. And you're there to help them. So that's one difficulty. And that's probably the biggest difficulty, because if you don't make any money, you won't be in business. All the other stuff you can wade through, surprise mock audits or surprise audits, and clients leaving you or being upset with you about whatever. Like, all that stuff is gravy. That's all easy. It's table stakes. You'll be fine. But if you don't have any clients and you don't solve the how do I get butts in the seat problem, then it's going to be a difficult going for you. Okay? All right. I'm a little bit over time. Hopefully this has been helpful. Would love to see you in the challenge next month. It's June 10th through the 14th, 5 days. I think we start give me a second here. VIPs are at 9, and general admissions at 10. So there's 2 versions of this. I guess I should say that. So first version is VIP. That's the best experience. You're going to get me an hour before the general teaching starts, and I will answer your questions. I will teach you extra stuff that I'm not going to be teaching in the general session. Things about building your business, just different things to move you forward and level you up as a financial professional. Then at 10 o'clock, the general mission will begin, and we will live stream that to Facebook. Also, as a VIP, you get to ask me questions, right? As a general mission, you don't. So, what else? Oh, and there's also some freebies. There's some freebies that I added to the VIP too. So just go to the webpage that is set up, and we will help you there with all that stuff. It's in the YouTube description. It should already be in there, actually. I think it is. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and I will see you guys back next month for the next masterclass. You can go ahead and mark it on your calendars for June the 26th. There is not a 5th Wednesday in June, so we will be going back to our regularly scheduled 4th Wednesday on June 26th. So if I don't see you in the challenge, I will definitely see you next month for the next masterclass. And don't forget to register this time. That way you can get in the drawing, right? And Rachel, I will make sure I get you access to the Career Changer Blueprint. Give me about 24 hours or so. I'll definitely get it to you before the weekend. You'll have it before the weekend, okay? And congratulations, by the way. All right. See you guys and gals. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on this, okay? You can do that after hours. It's good. It all helps, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.